Are we filming?
Yes.
Good. Hello, my name is Tim, and this is Vincent.
Nice to meet you.
Vincent plays rugby, and my name's Tim. This is about hiring and best practice hiring processes. Why am I doing all of this? Actually, I'm doing this because yesterday I was on an aeroplane and I met a girl called Kim, and she was gorgeous. She was just like really gorgeous. She had these lips which were very beautiful. I mean, she was just gorgeous. And she had a bit of a question, and so I'm going to try and answer that question. And I have to do this because it's part of my punishment, so I may as well kill like 15 birds with one stone and get it done now. Okay? So the purpose of this one is hiring, and as you can see, we have got the best practice hiring principle, which is the best judge of future performance is past behavior. So if you want to know how somebody is going to act in your company in the future, then you need to ask them questions that give you a good way of understanding about what they've done in the past. Yeah? So for example, if you need a salesperson to come and be a proactive salesperson for you in the future, you need a way of asking them questions that give you information of whether they have been a proactive salesperson in the past. If you need somebody who is good with numbers, you need good examples of how they've been good with numbers in the past. Yeah? People don't change their spots. Yeah? They generally stay the same, and they will do for you what they have done for others in the past. So the best hiring process is to make sure that we can follow this basic principle in the process of building the questions, because a good hiring process is about a structured form of doing interviews with a number of people. So I'm going to just take this one. Great. You're extremely good at this, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
I've done it before.
Oh, great. So, best practice hiring, here's the process itself. Yeah? Number one, you identify the competencies for the job. Competencies is a very long word, and yes, it has very long connotations and reasons for existing, and it's pretty boring actually for a lot of people, but it's very, very, very important. What skills do you need the person to have to be able to do this particular job effectively? Surprisingly, this is the piece where hiring interviews normally fail, yeah? Because people don't spend enough time in really identifying what skills and what behaviors are needed to do the job well itself. Yeah? So, but we identify what these competencies are, and on the internet, if you go onto the internet and look for competencies for a salesperson or for a bookkeeper or for a project manager in the pharmaceutical environment, then you'll find stuff. You'll find lists of skills and behaviors that you can use for stuff like this. Yeah? Anyway, the reason that you're doing this is because you want to create a list of good questions. Not too many, but you want a good list of questions, because these questions are going to give you proof and evidence that the person that you're speaking to can or can't emulate the behavior that you're trying to look for. Yeah? So that it'll tell you whether they can do this stuff or not. Okay, number three. Ask all of the candidates the same questions, yeah? And you have to record the answers. You have to write them down or record them. You have to record them in some way, because only in this way can you create a really qualitative way of comparison after the event itself. It's extremely important to record the response, even to the extent that it is a good idea to take a second person in purely for the purpose of recording the responses and making sure those questions get asked. Yeah? And number four, this is the skill. Probe. Yeah? Dig. Ask. Explore. Yeah? And ask for people's experience. Ask questions and dig and explore, asking for, how people have emulated this experience in the past. Now I can see that you have a question, and the question is, or one of the questions is, what if you're hiring somebody who has never done this job before? Well, if you're hiring somebody who's never done this job before, then you have to be creative. You have to try and find things that they've done in the past which are similar to the things that they're going to do in the future. Yeah? And this is especially important with university leavers, for example. Okay. And now, thanks very much, Vincent. That's it. You can kind of put those down there.
Pleasure.
But stay there, because I'm sure that our viewers enjoy looking at you more than they enjoy looking at me.
You think?
Well, I think it's possible.
Depending how old the woman is.
That's not a very kind thing to say. So, back to Kim's question, which was about new university graduates, and actually, you know, how can you tell whether they're going to be any good or not? You hire somebody in, and, you know, are they actually going to be good at the stuff that you want them to do? Yeah? Well, here's the plan, yeah? If you get 2 or 3 new people from university in, you like them, you know they're intelligent, they can speak well, they can represent well, and all of this stuff, but you're not actually sure whether they can do the stuff. There's basically one thing that you have to do. You have to give them a Probezeit. What's a Probezeit? It's one of those, it's the period of work time at the beginning of somebody's career, yeah? And then within that time, what is it? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months or so, you need to give them a job. You need to give them a project. You need to give them a way of beginning to work which tests the skills that you're going to expect them to have after their job has begun. You can't just put them in the office and tell them to sit there and look at the computer. You can't just give them the book and expect them to read it and to know all of the products and services. You've got to give them a project. You've got to give them something that you can assess. You've got to tell them that you're going to assess them, and that based on this assessment, they're going to keep or lose this job. Yeah? I think that's really the most pragmatic way of guaranteeing that you're going to get something that is valuable for you. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dank u wel. And have a brilliant day. Yeah? Enjoy it.
The woman was
Yeah.
Dutch.
She was.
Still is.
She was Dutch, actually. Yeah. Okay. Todd.